This is way better than we thought, as the Celtics are obviously a top tier team in the Eastern Conference. Some of their younger players have fallen through the cracks. So one of their rotational players asked the general manager if he could be sent down to play in the G League game. So we're going to be going over what Brad Stevens said to that and how this is going to affect Joe Mazzulla's offense if players like this are going to continue to keep growing and continuing to get better in shaping his championship roster. We'll be looking at all of this and more on this episode of Celtics Digest. I'm Bruce Velez. Without further ado, let's dive into the video at hand. Make sure to grab a snack. And I said in the introduction, but this is absolutely amazing as we have one Celtics player going down to the G League on request to get more playing time to better his skills to maybe even further himself in this rotation. That is just music to my ears. So we're going to be looking at an article going over this from someone that has been I've been lucky enough to have on Celtics Digest in Jack Simone. He wrote this for Hardwood Houdini here. So we're going to look at this and look at Jordan Walsh. I see was the latest Celtic to request obviously a send down. And I want to give Jack full credit for breaking down this article. Shout out to him. He works on the How About Them Celtics YouTube channel alongside Sam LaFrance, does some writing for Hardwood Houdini. If you don't follow him on YouTube or over on Twitter, definitely check him out. He's got more inside information than I do and is one of the great contributors for the Celtics network. But we're going to be looking at this article because this is absolutely key for Celtics fans to be dialing in on. And like I mentioned, Jordan Walsh wanted to go back to Maine, but not because he was sent down to the G League. He asked to play in the G League as Walsh played in their game yesterday afternoon after it was revealed that he was asked to be sent down. And he further on went to explain this, talking to Jordan Walsh. So Jordan Walsh said, "So I actually asked if I could go down and play in the game during practice yesterday," said Walsh. "I asked some of my PD coaches. He was like, yeah, and we'll figure it out. So then Brad called me and was like, so you really want to play down?" And I was like, yeah, can I go play down for a game real quick? And he was like, yeah, sure. Walsh wanted to get in some extra reps as he hadn't been in Boston's rotation as much. And he said it just made sense. We had a couple off days. These guys played in a back-to-back. I know that maybe some of them want to rest a little bit, but more than anything, I just wanted to come and play. I wanted to get active following coming back into the city. So get me some food real quick, early game, and then back on the road. So it made a lot of sense for me. He also obviously went into this having a guy who wants to play off the playoff times, no matter what the league or circumstances, is great for the Celtics. As Walsh just wants to hoop, and that's a type of player who Boston should want to be part of this organization, which I think is a fantastic point from Jack. He also asked Maine head coach Tyler Lashbrook, who was thrilled to see that Jordan Walsh wanted to play. He said that he absolutely loved it, saying that this was exciting and it was exciting to hear that he wants to be a part of this and he wants to play. At the end of the day, he's a basketball player. That's what these guys do. They just want to play. And that is it all. And I love hearing this breakdown from Jack. So shout out to Jack for coming up with that article. But like I said, Jordan Walsh is one of those players who's in at the kind of end of this Celtics rotation trying to fight for a spot. And with some of these guys playing on back to back, some of these guys getting a long week, obviously playing 5 games in 7 days, it's been a tough battle. So this needed couple off days until Wednesday when they play the Pistons in that rescheduling of the NBA Cup game is going to be fine for the Celtics to take a break this week. But for players like Walsh, who don't really get that much opportunity and want to play basketball, this is a key sign of eagerness and greatness in this Celtics rotation. He wants to play. He wants to stay ready. He wants to showcase his skill set for this organization to realize that he is a keeping stone and that he should be someone that can be developed and work through the system. And I think that Walsh is one of those perfect pieces. We've seen with the Celtics, they love gritty, hard defenders, and that's what Jordan Walsh does. He's going to lay his body out on the line for every loose ball. He's going to make the scrappy play. He's going to work his hardest on his efforts, but he also is going to try to keep his best on the offensive side. Stretch out, hit some threes, work in some of the offense, and getting some good plays set up. And that's what I really like to see out of Walsh. Let's not also forget that Jordan Walsh last season played for this Maine Celtics team last year. So he has some familiarity with this team. So going back, getting to play for them was key for him. And if we want to look at the scores, if we want to look at the stats from the game here, we can see Jordan Walsh played a solid game here for the Maine Celtics. He got 20 points. Unfortunately, they did get the loss in overtime, but Walsh was a solid rebounder, playing some great defense, and was just gifted an extra opportunity to just show Brad Stevens, show Joe Mazzulla that he has that eager work ethic, that he wants to compete, but also gets to prove to them that he is that guy and that he will do whatever it takes to play. And for Walsh, that's a great thing in his mindset moving up in the system, but also for himself to just get some basketball time. And like obviously, Tyler Lashbrook kind of said in Jack's article, they're basketball players. They want to play basketball. This is their dream. This is their passion. This is what they enjoy every single day. Like I enjoy creating these videos, talking about them. So obviously, they are excited to just kind of lace up their shoes and just go hoop on any regular day. And getting a chance to play in a game and be even an impactful piece in a game, like if he's on the Maine Celtics, being one of those top stars is definitely what Walsh likes to see. And I think this is great. I think obviously Brad Stevens allowing this to happen, being so cool with it, is obviously a key sign to showing that they obviously don't care. They want their players to play. And obviously this is great for Joe Mazzulla as well. Like we mentioned, and like Jack mentioned, the Celtics haven't really been playing a player in Jordan Walsh that much. If we want to look at Walsh's playing time for the Celtics so far this season, he's only played in 2 games in the month of December. And yeah, it's only 9 days in, but the Celtics have had a lot of games in this month. And obviously, they've been a lot of close ones against a lot of tough teams like Memphis, like Milwaukee, and our last back to back. But Jordan Walsh should be able to get some run against some of those bad teams and obviously experiment in some blowouts and stuff like that. I'm not asking him to be brought off the bench immediately, but for a player that's kind of lodged in this rotation, this is key for him to getting some development and getting some playing time, because if he is looking good in this for this Maine Celtics and can show in practice that he's made improvements from playing with this Maine Celtics team, maybe there is a room for improvement for Jordan Walsh to kind of cement himself in that rotation and be that O'Shea Brissett-esque type of defender slash role player for this team that this team is currently missing with his departure last year. Or Walsh could be a guy just playing back and forth, just getting some reps, getting some run, and ultimately waiting for next year to really crack that rotation. But like I mentioned, this Celtics team also now has some questions, obviously, with doing this. And that's what we're going to get to in the next part. So let me know what you guys think about Jordan Walsh down below in the comment section, how you guys feel about this. Like I said, I'm absolutely ecstatic. I think this is way better than we think, because the Celtics now have guys like Porziņģis, Tatum, Brown, all those top tier guys at the top half of this team. But now they got guys like Jordan Walsh, Baylor Scheierman, Sam Hauser, Peyton Pritchard emerging through the cracks, and it is just setting up a true dynasty for this Celtics team. But let's get into the next part and what this means for the Celtics future, as we obviously kind of want to look at that side of things. And with Jordan Walsh kind of going down, me and Rob version over in the Discord were kind of talking about this. So if you want to join the Discord and kind of chat about Celtics stuff, join the link down below in the description to come hang out and talk everything Celtics NBA with everybody else in the Discord from the other Digest media channels. But obviously, we were talking about the possibility if Jordan Walsh is playing down and going down to play in Maine, could this be the kind of signaling that Walsh isn't ready to step up for these playoff minutes, and now the Celtics are going to have to go and get another wing? And I think that could be a possibility, and we obviously know who that name would be thrown around the trade rumors, as he is been thrown around the last couple of weeks and months, and that is Jaden Springer. Obviously, a player who hasn't been able to really crack the rotation. I thought with Jrue Holiday being out these last couple of games, he'd get more of an opportunity. Players like Peterson kind of took that role above him, and he didn't really get to check in besides garbage minutes, which kind of leads to me that he's been thrown into the bottom of this roster, and it's going to be tough for him to climb out. And Springer, obviously a defensive talent, obviously a guy who can make key impact plays when he is inserted, should be valued at that, and should be getting these guaranteed minutes that he does deserve. He's locked up players like Luka Doncic, Stephen Curry with the Philadelphia 76ers before he came to the Celtics, and we've seen with the Celtics in his limited minute use, him being able to guard players like James Harden, him being able to guard players like DeMar DeRozan, and those are still high quality stars that Jaden Springer is putting in his dungeon, and he definitely deserves the recognition for that. Now, obviously, we've gone through some multiple trades with Jaden Springer, so if you want to kind of go over those, you can check out those other videos. But if the Celtics do want to go off and get a player like Amir Coffey or Torrey Craig to kind of fill in that position, if they do think that a player like Jordan Walsh isn't ready to step up, then I could see them doing this move, trading a player like Springer, or even trading a player like Springer off the roster, getting a free roster spot, and then bringing up a guy like Peterson could be the move as well to get some more run. But we'll have to wait and see what this Celtics team ultimately does. I do think that Jordan Walsh, regardless, he is going to be having a long tenure with this Celtics team as he keeps proving that regardless if he's on the Celtics regular roster or their G League roster, he's willing to compete, he's willing to give that extra effort, and that is what is important in all of this, as that the Celtics have a guy that's willing to do anything for this organization, and I truly think that Jordan Walsh, if not by the second half of this season, by next year, will be an indeed staple of this rotation for the Boston Celtics. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Once again, I want to say shout out to Jack for the fantastic article going over everything that we broke down today. And I want to give him another shout out again on How About Them Celtics and Hardwin Houdini for you guys to check him out. But once again, thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode here. We really do appreciate all the support you guys have been giving us over on the channel. Thank you guys so much. And once again, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day and go Boston Celtics. Peace out, everyone.